nearly half, well, 45% of Scots voted to leave the Union. In Wales, I think it's 25% of Welsh people want to leave the Union. And in Northern Ireland, a third of the people in Northern Ireland actually want to join a foreign country. Now, when you talk about the English Constitution, and the first thing I thought of when I saw your party and quickly read a few lines online about it, was my biggest gripe with the United Kingdom is this. Why in our Parliament do Northern Irish MPs, Welsh MPs and Scottish MPs get a voice and get a vote on only English matters when English MPs have no voice whatsoever on the other areas of the UK because those powers have been devolved to their little parliaments or assemblies? Why do they get a say on how we live in this country? I find that Englishness unfair. I just find it unfair.
Well, let me tell you this, Nick. I find it more than unfair. What you've just said is absolutely correct. You've got Welsh MPs, Northern Irish MPs, Scottish MPs, and British MPs. There are no English MPs. And people conflate, and again, Alexander Zelensky, who, again, the Russian author, talked about the USSR, and when it was disbanded, he had wrote all these books on the Soviet Union. And he said, he was asked a question, and he said his biggest bugbear was the conflation of Russian and Soviet. He said, I am a Russian. I would never and never was a Soviet, right? So when people talk to me, they ask me, or they mention I'm British, I say I'm not British. I'm English, right? And there is a big difference between an Englishman and someone who is British, right? It's a regime, it's a ruling class. By the way, I'm working class, always have been. I've studied law. And again, we are rejected as the largest constituent nation within the United Kingdom. You're absolutely right, but it's actually worse than that. There are no English MPs. The one that come close was a guy called David Amis that used to dress in Templar and go around because I believe he was knighted. He'd ride his horse with a Knights Templar gear on. And again, he was stabbed to death. The British knew that he was targeted and they let it happen. The other person that comes close to being English and mentions English regularly or England regularly is Rupert Lowe. So it is about England. Again, I'm not sure if you've seen my tweet that I've just put out. And again, one of the things we've said, we would detain and deport. We will deport all illegal immigrants and all foreign prisoners, including those from Scotland, Ireland and Wales. This isn't about race, it's about national origin and culture. England is a distinct country and deportees will be barred from re-entering England for life. So what I'm trying to say to people is there is nothing racial about that. We're all the same race. But if you offend and commit an offence or do something in England that goes against our laws, people must respect that England is a nation, a country, and it has been for 1,100 years.
I agree. What you just said then, if you'd have said that 15 years ago, everybody would have went, well, that's common sense. Over my lifetime, we've slowly lost all common sense in this country. It's been going on for a hell of a long time. It's only more recently we began to notice it and see it. But that statement is perfectly acceptable in every single country in the world, apart from England. That's the only country you're not allowed to say that. And how I know that to be true is I wrote a book last year called England's My England, the fall and rise of the greatest country ever to exist. And when I was researching that book, I realised when we look at the UK, the Union, that at the Scottish referendum a decade ago, nearly 45% of Scots voted to leave the Union. In Wales, I think it's 25% of Welsh people want to leave the Union. And in Northern Ireland, a third of the people in Northern Ireland actually want to join a foreign country. And I'm looking at that and I'm thinking to myself, am I British or am I English? Because 10 years ago, 5 years ago, I'd have said, oh, I'm British. England is part of Britain, but overall, I'm British. But as time goes on, this last 5 years, I now identify as English because I see how how our cousins, our Celtic cousins across the union, how they view us. Not all of them, some of them view us and see us and treat us. And I think it's time that England puts itself first a little bit more than it's ever done, because we seem to be at the everything we do is always at our expense. It's always putting other people first. We put the Welsh first. We put the Scottish first. Now we put people from Somalia first. We put people from the Congo first. It's never us first. And I think we need a little bit more of that.